okay? Everybody. So, would you like to introduce yourself? Yeah, sure. So my name is Mario. I'm a French student here. I'm 22 years old, turning 3 in Korean age. I love eating, I love sleeping, I love horses and cats. I love to read and I love to listen to music. I'm studying archaeology, but right now I'm studying Korean. So my goal being here is to study Korean and be able to study Korean archaeology.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very special to me because I'm going to be interviewing my best classmate and current best friend. We met in our second semester here in Korea, and I'm going to be asking her a couple of questions about studying in Korea and her life in Korea as a foreign student. So stay tuned! Hi Marielle, how are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good too. How are you doing with the whole, coronavirus thing, living abroad?
I'm doing very well because Korea is one of the countries that manage very well the virus, so it's not too difficult to live with it.
What about your school life? Did it change from before the virus, or is it still the same?
So my school life did change a lot, indeed. Before we had offline class, and now we do have online class through the application Zoom. So the schedules didn't change, but we have indeed online class. Also, the way we interact with other students and the professor did change too. Overall, I prefer the offline class, but online class still brings some interesting stuff for the learning of Korean languages.
Okay, that's great. So let's go back to the beginning before you came to Korea. What motivated you to study in Korea?
First of all, I graduated in France. So I have a bachelor in archaeology, in general archaeology, and I want to do a master degree about Korean archaeology. Therefore, I decided to come to Korea because to do a master in Korean archaeology, I need to know Korean language to be able to read books about my specialty in Korean and to be able to read some thesis and other documents. So my first motivation is to learn Korean to be able to do a master degree about Korean archaeology.
So may I ask why exactly Korean archaeology out of all specters?
So I always have a desire to study Asian archaeology, and it's by discussing with other researchers that I decided to choose Korean archaeology because they told me that the country is very open to foreigner researchers, foreigner students, more than other countries. So I thought that it was a good idea to come here, and also because Korean archaeology is not so developed, and I also thought that I can help to develop Korean archaeology.
Thank you. So let's talk about your daily life here. Can you talk about the positives and negatives of living alone as a student in a foreign country, and specifically Korea?
I think the good point of my daily life in Korea is that it's very comfortable and easy to live here. For example, we have a lot of services in Korea here that we don't have in France, like delivery, like the marts that are open very late at night, or simply also the service for other people. Korean services is very well developed and devoted to his customers. So this is something I really like. Also, for example, more precisely for girls, it's safe to go home late at night, which is not the case in France, for example. So overall, I feel secured in Korea, and it's pretty easy to live if you are capable to adapt well. I think the bad point would be if you come from the countryside and you arrived in Seoul. Seoul is a very big city. Even though the buses and other common transportation are very well developed, you can still lose yourself pretty easily. But overall, I think for me it's the only bad point, because I adapt myself quite fast.
Thank you. So, as a conclusion, what do you say to people who have interest in coming to Korea to study? What kind of advice would you like to tell them, and what is the most important thing to remember?
So I came here to study, and I didn't came here before studying Korean. So when I arrived in Korea, it was my really first time. So I think it's fine for me because it do like match my character. But for other people, it's maybe not fine. I saw a lot of my friends, foreigner friends that came and missed their home a lot, or so they came back after like 6 months to their home country. So I advise you first to take a trip, like 1 month or more in Korea, to see how the country is, how it works, how the people are. So I think it's the best stuff you can do before coming in Korea to study. Also, you should remember that Korea and Koreans have a education system that is very focused on studying hard and memorizing. So if you're not ready to be and to follow this system, I do not think it's a good idea to come in Korea. And lastly, don't come in Korea with no objective at all, because you will be lost in this country. It's like in any country. If you come to a foreigner country without objective, you will be lost and you will like miss your hometown. So think pretty well before coming here.
Thank you so much for helping me with this interview. So this was Marielle and from France. Thank you so much, and let's see you guys in the next cut. I just want to say thank you to Marielle for sharing her experience and her story. I hope her advice was helpful to those of you who are interested in coming to Korea and study here. As you guys know, be safe and wear your masks, and I hope this virus gets lifted and everyone gets to live a normal life again. And till then, just stay strong and 힘내세요. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.